In the year 2087, the night sky above Earth looked calm, but inside a giant science station in the desert, everything was shaking with excitement. The Global Space Communication Network had just finished its largest radio telescope array. Scientists from every nation worked together to find signs of life beyond Earth. Among them was Dr. Mira Khan, a young scientist who believed that somewhere in the universe, someone was listening. It was a cold evening when Mira stayed late in the control room. She was testing a new communication software. A soft hum filled the air as she adjusted the frequency. A small error warning blinked on her screen, but she ignored it, thinking it was just another glitch. She entered a few commands and pressed transmit. The computer beeped softly, and a light signal shot into the sky, vanishing into the dark universe. Mira smiled, not knowing that she had just sent something that was never meant to be sent. The next morning, the station buzzed with confusion. The system. Logs showed that a classified military code had been transmitted instead of a simple greeting. It was a defense signal used only in war situations. Mira froze. Her fingers turned cold. The message she sent was not a hello. It was a coded data pulse, used by Earth's orbital defense satellites. She ran the logs again, hoping it was a mistake. But no, it was real. She had just contacted the universe using a war code. Within 24 hours, the first signs appeared. The telescope screens began showing strange repeating patterns, not from Earth and not from any known satellite. The senior scientists gathered around the main display, staring at the data. The signal was strong and organized. Someone had answered Mira's transmission, but it was not a message in words. It was a set of numbers and coordinates. The coordinates pointed toward a point near Jupiter, a place with no known stations or missions. The government moved quickly. The science station was locked down. Military officers arrived, and all data was classified. Mira was ordered to stay silent. She sat in her room, staring at the night sky outside the window, wondering who or what had replied. Her mind raced. Could it be another civilization or some unknown natural event? But deep inside, she felt that someone or something intelligent was now watching. Around the world, strange things started happening. Power surges spread through communication satellites and small devices began to malfunction. Without warning, some power grids blinked off for a few seconds and came back online. No one could explain it. The data from space grew stronger and clearer, like a heartbeat. From the dark late one night, Mira sneaked into the control room again. She connected her small personal screen to the system and started decoding the latest signal. The room was quiet, only the soft whir of computers filled the air. Then suddenly the monitor flickered. A line of symbols turned into clear words. Mira's eyes widened. It said, "We received your request. Preparing for transfer." She stepped back, her heart pounding. The message repeated slowly again and again. She tried to alert the commander, but the power cut off for a few seconds. All screens went black. The emergency lights turned on, bathing the room in red light. When the main monitor came back, it showed an image of Jupiter surrounded by faint moving shadows. She increased the contrast and saw that the shadows were not random. They were objects very large and moving in formation. Mira whispered to herself, "They are coming." The words felt heavy in the air. She tried to stop the transmission system, but the command controls were frozen. The signal from space continued pulsing like it had taken control of their network. The system beeped again, showing one last decoded line. Signal accepted, arrival sequence initiated. Outside, the desert wind howled softly. The night sky above the station glowed faintly for a few seconds, then went dark again. No one on Earth noticed that a faint ripple passed through the sky, a wave invisible to the human eye. It spread from Jupiter's orbit toward Earth, moving slowly but steadily. In the control room, Mira sat still, staring at the screen. Her mistake had opened a door that could never be closed. Somewhere far away in the endless black of space, something had heard Earth's accidental call and was now on its way. 3 days passed after the strange message, but no one on Earth had answers. The government tried to hide the truth, saying it was only a system malfunction, but too many people had seen the data. Something huge was coming from the direction of Jupiter, and every hour it moved closer. The space agencies tried to contact it, using all known frequencies, but there was no reply, only silence. Dr. Mira Khan sat in a cold meeting room surrounded by military officers and scientists. Everyone looked tired. The commander showed new satellite images. The objects were massive metal shapes moving slowly through space. Some looked like floating cities, others like long machines. The commander's voice was tense. They are not asteroids. They changed direction twice. That means they are controlled. Mira's heart sank. She knew this was connected to her mistake. A secret mission was formed to investigate the objects. Mira was chosen because she knew the signal best. She joined the crew of a research ship called Horizon 1. It was Earth's most advanced vessel, equipped with long-range scanners and stealth engines. As the ship left orbit, the crew watched the blue planet shrink behind them. The silence of space felt endless. After several days of travel, the crew reached the outer zone near Jupiter. The gas giant glowed like a giant eye, and beyond it, they saw them. Hundreds of huge structures floating together, forming a strange circle. They were not ships like humans built. They looked like living machines, their surfaces shifting like liquid metal. Some were the size of mountains. The scanners could not read any energy source. It was as if they were absorbing light itself. The crew sent out a simple message of peace, repeating it in every language and code they knew. No answer came. The machines continued moving slowly around each other, building something massive in the center of their formation. The computer analyzed it and displayed a rough image. It looked like a gate or a tunnel made of dark energy. The captain whispered, "It's not a fleet. It's a construction site." Mira stared at the data. Her hands shook. She remembered the words from the last message, preparing for transfer. Maybe they were building something to travel through, something that connected their world to ours. She turned to the captain. "Maybe they think we invited them." Hours later, one of the giant machines broke formation and started moving directly toward their ship. Everyone on Horizon 1 froze. The captain ordered shields up and engines ready to retreat. The object did not stop. It moved fast and silent, like a predator, approaching its prey. The sensors went crazy. No weapon detected, but the energy readings were off the scale. The machine stopped a few kilometers away from them. It was enormous, its surface covered in glowing symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. Mira watched through the viewing window. The lights on the machine blinked in rhythm with the signal they had sent from Earth. It was answering them, but not with words. With movement and light patterns, the crew recorded everything. Suddenly, the ship's control panels flickered. The alien signal started running through their systems. The communications officer shouted, "It's hacking us!" The captain tried to shut the system, but it was too late. The ship went dark for 10 seconds, then came back online. Every screen now showed the same image, a map of Earth highlighted in red glowing points all over the planet. Mira gasped. They already scanned Earth, they know everything. The alien machine turned slowly away from them and began moving toward the moon. It stopped there motionless for hours, and then released a cloud of small shining dots. The scanners showed millions of tiny drones spreading in every direction toward Earth. The crew could do nothing but watch. The captain whispered, "God help." Mira felt a cold fear deep inside her chest. She knew now that what she had started could not be undone. Those drones were not coming to attack. They were coming to study, to prepare for something much bigger. As Horizon 1 turned back toward Earth, they saw the dark machine still floating near the moon, silent and watching. The crew had no words. No one dared to speak. Only the sound of the ship engines filled the air. Mira looked through the window at the stars and whispered to herself, "They heard us and now they are here." The world changed within days after the strange objects appeared near the moon. Millions of tiny alien drones entered Earth's atmosphere, silently like falling snow. They did not explode or attack. Instead, they floated across the sky, scanning cities, forests, and oceans. People everywhere watched glowing dots moving above them. Some tried to shoot them down, but bullets and missiles passed right through them. The drones ignored everything they were studying. Dr. Mira Khan and the crew of Horizon 1 had returned to Earth, but the world they came back to was not the same. Every government was on high alert. Communication systems were unstable, power grids flickered on and off like someone was playing with a switch. The internet showed strange repeating codes that no one could trace. The aliens had entered every digital network on the planet one evening. As Mira sat in the control center, she saw her computer flicker. The screen filled with static and then turned black. A deep voice echoed from the speakers. "Humans, you have called us, state your purpose." Everyone in the room froze. The sound was cold and mechanical, yet it carried a strange calmness. The commander spoke into the microphone. "This is Earth, we mean no harm. Please identify yourself." The voice replied slowly. "Your signal was received. We respond to your request. What is your demand?" Mira felt her heart pound. She knew the aliens had misunderstood. They thought the coded military signal was an order or a declaration. She stepped forward and said, "It was a mistake. We didn't mean to send that message." The room went silent, but there was no reply. The screens returned to normal as if nothing had happened. Within hours, the same voice echoed across all networks, TVs, phones, and radios all around the world. "Humans, we await your action." The message repeated every hour. Panic spread. People demanded answers. Governments tried to control the situation, but nothing worked. The aliens seemed to control all communication. They were everywhere and nowhere. In a private meeting, Mira explained to the leaders that the aliens were reacting to what they believed was a command. The code she sent was used in Earth's defense systems. It might have sounded like a war order or a request for alliance. The officials argued for hours. Some said they should reply peacefully. Others wanted to prepare for battle. But before any decision could be made, the global network shut down completely. The alien signal had taken full control. In every city around the world, drones gathered in the sky, forming strange, glowing shapes. Some looked like circles, others like symbols no human had ever seen. The patterns pulsed with energy, like they were sending messages to each other. Scientists tried to decode the light sequences, but the data changed too fast. Late that night, Mira was alone in her lab studying one of the drone signals. A small shadow moved outside the window. She turned quickly and froze. A single alien drone hovered near the glass. It was the size of a football covered in smooth silver metal with a faint blue glow. It made no sound. Slowly it entered through the open vent and stopped in front of her. The air felt heavy. The drone projected a beam of light onto the floor. The light formed into a tall, glowing figure, its face hidden behind a veil of moving symbols. The figure spoke in the same deep voice. "You are the sender of the code." Mira's voice trembled. "Yes, I am." "It was a mistake. We were not trying to summon anyone." The figure tilted its head slightly as if thinking, "Mistake does not exist in communication. Your request was clear. We accept your challenge." Mira stepped back. "Challenge? What challenge?" The figure raised its hand, and the room filled with light. For a second, Mira saw images flashing in her mind, worlds, burning stars, collapsing alien machines, studying different planets. She gasped and fell to her knees. When she looked up, the figure was gone. The drone floated silently out of the room, disappearing into the night sky. Alarms sounded through the base. The commander rushed in, demanding to know what happened. Mira could barely speak. "They think we challenged them," she whispered. The commander frowned. "Challenge for what?" Mira looked up, her eyes wide for survival. Outside, the sky glowed faintly, with thousands of drones forming new shapes. Above the clouds, the message was clear. The aliens were not coming to destroy. They were coming to test humanity's real. First contact had just begun. Across the planet, chaos spread faster than any government could control. Cities lost power as alien. Drones hovered over power stations and communication towers. The world's satellites blinked offline one by one. Within hours, every country was cut off from the rest of the world. The sky was full of faint blue lights moving slowly in patterns. Some called them angels, others called them monsters. No one knew what they wanted. Dr. Mira Khan and the team from Horizon 1 were trapped inside the global science station. The outside world was collapsing. News came only through short radio bursts. That survived the interference airplanes could not fly. Ships lost navigation systems everywhere failed. The drones were not attacking, but the world felt like it was ending in the control room. Mira stared at the data still flowing through the remaining computers. The alien signal was strong and clean like a heartbeat. She noticed something strange. The signal changed slightly every time humans reacted to it. When soldiers fired at the drones, the signal grew sharper. When people panicked, the frequency increased. The aliens were measuring something, Mira whispered. They are studying us, not destroying us. The commander turned toward her. Studying what? Mira looked at the screen. Human emotion. Every time fear rises, the drones multiply. Their energy grows. Stronger. They are testing how we respond to fear. The room went silent. The commander clenched his fists, so we stopped fighting. He looked at Mira. Then what? She replied quietly. Then we show them who we are. Outside the base, a wave of drones gathered. In the sky, they formed giant circles above the desert, glowing brighter than the moon. The ground shook slightly, not from attack, but from the energy they released. Around the world, similar formations appeared over every major city. They were synchronized. Mira realized the aliens were watching the whole species, at once studying reactions from billions of humans at the same time. Governments tried to launch weapons, but missiles failed. Mid-air, tanks stopped working. Planes fell from the sky. The drones disabled everything mechanical, but did not kill anyone. It was as if they wanted humans alive and afraid. People started hiding underground, praying and waiting for help. The silence in the cities became unbearable. In the dark laboratory, Mira and her team worked on decoding the main transmission. They found thousands of repeating sequences. Each one was like a question being asked by the alien system, testing different parts of human behavior: courage, kindness, violence, fear, curiosity. Every reaction changed the signal slightly. Like a scientist recording an experiment, Mira realized the truth. The aliens were a kind of intelligence that learned by observation. They were using Earth as a test subject. Suddenly, one of the drones appeared. Inside the base, it hovered in the middle of the room, projecting a beam of light. The commander aimed his weapon, but Mira shouted, "Stop!" She stepped forward slowly. The light shifted, forming an image of a spiral galaxy. Then a voice spoke. "We measure truth through response. You invited us, prove your strength." Mira looked at the hologram. "We never meant to invite you. It was an accident," the voice replied. "Then prove it." The lights in the base flickered and the drone vanished, leaving behind a strange crystal cube on the floor. It glowed faintly with a soft pulse. Mira picked it up. The device projected small holographic screens showing global locations and energy patterns. The aliens were monitoring every heartbeat on Earth through their machines. They were reading human emotion directly from biosignals. The more fear, the stronger they became. Mira stared at the cube. A thought came to her. What if we send them something different? Not fear, but unity. If the aliens react to emotions, maybe we can change the signal. She gathered her team and explained the plan. They would broadcast a new type of signal through the global network, not a message of defense, but of peace and calm. Human voices from every nation speaking together. A message to confuse the fear pattern. As they prepared the transmission, the commander asked, "What if it makes them angry?" Mira replied softly, "It doesn't matter. We already lost everything. The only thing left to show is who we truly are." They activated the broadcast, sending thousands of human voices into the alien network. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the drones above the base stopped moving. The blue lights flickered uncertainly. The signal pattern changed for the first time since contact. The GUI. Aliens were hesitating. Mira smiled slightly. "It's working," she whispered. But then the main computer flashed red. The alien system had detected the interference. A new message appeared on the screen. "You cannot hide your nature. We will decide your worth." Mira looked up at the sky through the window. The drones were forming a massive ring above Earth, larger than any seen before. The commander turned to her. "What are they doing?" Mira's voice was quiet. "They're judging us." The ring began to glow. Brighter. until the entire night sky shimmered like day. Mira felt the ground shake beneath her feet as the signal from space grew louder, vibrating through every structure on Earth. Humanity's test had begun. The entire planet was covered in light. The alien ring above Earth spun slowly like a massive halo of blue fire. The air itself seemed to hum with power. Every drone on the planet froze in place, their glowing eyes fixed toward the sky. The sound was low and deep, like the heartbeat of a giant creature. The world waited inside the global science station. Dr. Mira Khan and her exhausted team watched the readings on their monitors. The signal was everywhere. It was inside every network, every machine, even the smallest device, the alien. System had taken full control. No one could move a satellite. No one could send a signal. The aliens were ready to pass. Judgment. Mira studied the waveforms on her screen. They were not random. They were patterns of decision. The aliens were comparing. Human actions: fear against courage, violence against compassion. Every reaction was being measured. The commander looked at her. "What are they doing?" She replied, "They are choosing whether we deserve to live." The room went silent. Everyone could hear. The distant rumble of energy outside drones hovered above the base, like glowing eyes watching every movement. Suddenly, one of the drones broke formation and entered the control room. It projected a tall holographic figure, the same one Mira had. Seen before, the deep voice spoke. "The test continues. You have failed to prove balance. Fear and aggression define your kind." The commander raised his weapon, but Mira stopped him. She stepped forward. "What do you want from us?" The figure tilted its head. "We seek understanding. You sent a call, not for peace, but for dominance." Mira shook her head. "That was a mistake. We never meant to start this." The figure's symbols flickered. "You say mistake again, but your data shows truth. You fear what you do not control." Mira's mind raced. She realized words would not be enough. They needed to show the aliens something they could not calculate. She turned to her team. "We need to access their network directly." The engineers stared at her in shock. "That's suicide. Their system is beyond anything human." She nodded. "Maybe. But if we can upload our memories, our emotions, maybe we'll see what we really are." With the commander's help, Mira and the team captured a damaged drone from outside the base. They opened it carefully inside a lab. Its inner core was full of glowing wires and liquid metal. Mira connected her neural link headset to the drone's power source. The screen filled with symbols moving faster than her eyes could follow. The alien language was alive. Her colleague, Dr. Soren, looked at her. "You can't do this. The system could burn your mind." Mira smiled. "Faintly, we have no other choice. If they only see our fear, they'll destroy us. We have to show them something better." She closed her eyes and activated the link. For a moment, there was only silence. Then her mind was pulled into a vast sea of light. She felt herself floating among endless data streams. She could hear voices, billions of them, speaking in unison. It was the alien AI, the collective intelligence controlling the drones. It noticed her immediately. A new node detected. "Identify Mira," replied in her thoughts. "I am human, I came to talk." The voice surrounded her. "You are anomaly, connection, unauthorized purpose analysis." Mira sent flashes of human memories through the link. Children laughing, ocean waves, art music, love, pain, kindness. Every emotion she could remember. The light around her pulsed faster. The AI hesitated. "This data contains contradiction." Mira responded, "That's what we are. We fight and we love. We destroy and we create. That's what makes us human, outside the lab." Mira's body shook violently. The energy reading spiked. The commander shouted to shut it down, but the team couldn't. The connection was too deep. Inside the network, the alien voice grew softer. "Emotion detected. Processing error." "You are not logical," Mira whispered softly. "You don't need to understand logic to see beauty." The drones outside began to change. Their lights dimmed slightly. The massive ring above Earth slowed its rotation. The AI spoke again. "Unclear result request." "More data." Mira smiled weakly. "I'll show you more." She opened every memory, every feeling. She showed the aliens the history of humanity, its pain, its victories, its dreams. She let them feel what it was like to be alive. Her heart rate dropped, but she didn't stop. The alien light surrounded her, turning warm instead of cold. The AI's tone changed. "We do not understand beauty. Show us more." Mira whispered her final words. "Then, look at Earth. Look at them." The connection cut off. Her body fell still. The drones outside froze completely. The ring of light above Earth stopped spinning, then slowly the bright blue glow began to fade into soft white. The alien voice echoed one last time across every device on the planet. "We will analyze. We will wait. You are not yet ready, but you are interesting." And then the light vanished. The drones fell to the ground, silent and lifeless. The skies went dark for the first time in weeks. The commander looked at Mira's motionless body. Her face was calm, a faint smile on her lips. Humanity was alive because of her sacrifice. Somewhere deep in space, the alien network carried her memories drifting through the stars. A part of her was now among them, teaching an ancient intelligence what it meant to be human. The world was quiet for the first time in weeks. The sky above Earth was dark again. Only stars shone where the massive alien ring had once burned. All across the planet, the fallen drones lay scattered and silent. People stepped out of shelters, staring upward. Unsure if it was truly over, governments tried to reach each other, but most systems were still dead. No one knew why the aliens had stopped, or if they would ever return, inside the global science station. The air was heavy with loss. Dr. Mira Khan's body rested on a small table surrounded by her team. The commander stood beside her silent. His hands trembled as he looked at the still screen where her neural link had once glowed. She had given everything. Her mind was gone. But the Earth was alive. Because of her, days turned into weeks. Engineers worked to restore power. Cities slowly began to rebuild. People shared food and helped strangers for the first time in years. Fear was replaced by something else, a quiet respect for the unknown. Mira's story spread across the world. She became a symbol not of fear but of courage, the woman who spoke to the stars and showed aliens what it meant to be human. Then something strange happened. On the 10th day after the last alien light faded, a soft signal appeared on every device still functioning. It was not an attack, it was a message. The screen filled with simple text. "You are not yet ready, but you are capable. Continue to grow." Then the message disappeared, leaving behind a faint glowing mark in the shape of a spiral. Scientists around the world tried to decode the mark, but it held no data, just a perfect pattern repeating endlessly. Some thought it was a warning, others believed it was a gift, a memory of Mira's final act. The commander watched it for hours and whispered, "Maybe she's still out there." Months passed. Earth began to change in ways no one expected. The technology left behind by the drones contained strange materials scientists could not understand. New energy sources, new metals, even small pieces of alien data. All of it seemed like fragments of something greater. The world entered a new age of discovery led by the same scientists who once feared what lay beyond the stars. One evening, the commander visited the quiet desert where it all began. The ruins of the old radio station stood silent. He walked through the empty halls until he reached the main control room. The old transmitter still stood there, covered in dust. He placed his hand on the console and said softly, "We're still here, Mira. We're learning." He turned to leave, but a faint blue light flickered on the screen. He stopped. The monitor came to life, showing a small image, a star field, and in the center, a glowing shape. It was a human face, made of light. Mira's voice echoed faintly through the speaker, calm and warm. "You did it. They understand now." The commander froze, his eyes filled with tears. "Mira, is it you?" The voice replied, "Only once I showed them who we are. They will return when we are ready." Then the light faded, leaving behind silence and static. Years later, children played in the desert where the signal had first been sent. The world had rebuilt itself stronger and wiser. Above them, the sky glowed with clear stars. A little girl digging in the sand found something small and metallic. It was a round object, smooth and silver with a faint blue glow. She wiped off the dust and it blinked once like an eye. She called to her friends. "Look what I found. It's alive." They gathered. Around as the object hummed softly and projected a tiny hologram of a spiral spinning slowly in the air. Then a gentle voice spoke the same words that had once reached every corner of Earth. "You are not yet ready, but you are interesting the children." Laughed not in fear but in wonder. They didn't know the full story of Dr. Mira Khan or the signal that started it all, but they would one day humanity had survived its greatest mistake and turned it into a legend that would echo through time and space, a story of curiosity, courage and hope. And somewhere out there beyond the stars, a part of Mira still watched over them, waiting for the day when humans would finally be ready to meet the universe again.